Guys, it's Sigrid. Welcome back to Books and Beauty. If this is your first time here, I make videos about books and I also do a lot of unboxings. So if you are not subscribed to me yet, please consider clicking that red button because then you will be notified of all of the videos that I make in the future, and I have a lot of video ideas. This is going to be my first vlog and I'm going to be doing a segment called Book versus Movie, and it's where I read the book and then I watch the movie and I compare the two. So since it is October and I am trying to get into a spooky mood, I'm thinking of Pet Sematary by Stephen King. I don't think I've ever read a Stephen King novel. I think I read Carrie when I was like a teenager, but I don't remember it. But I've seen Pet Sematary, the movie, since I was a little kid. It's been quite a really long time since I have seen it, but I've never read the book. I really just want to compare the two, figure out which one I will read better, and also like get to know a little bit about what Stephen King has to offer, because like I said, I've never read any of his books. So I'm super excited to dive into this. I'm going to be vlogging this, so you will see like little snippets of me reading the book. I have the physical copy as well as the audiobook, so I'm not really sure which one I'm going to listen to primarily, but I'm going to try to get this out the way so that I can watch the movie. There are two movies. There's the classic one that I grew up watching, and I believe there's one that was like released in 2018, so I'm going to watch both of them and compare the book to both of them. So I look forward to doing a wrap up at the end. Yeah, so let's see how this goes. All right, guys, so I have my braces in. It is later tonight and I am starting Pet Sematary. I cannot talk with these things in my mouth. I'm starting Pet Sematary. I'm gonna listen to it on audio like until I drift off to sleep, but I'm really hoping that it's not too scary because like I sleep in the dark, and so it might be a little too scary for me. Okay, so you guys, I am in my car and I've gotten to the part where one of the children dies and the father decides to bury the child in the pet cemetery because he's like, well, if it worked for the cat, it should work for the child too. That cat didn't really like come back that good, like, you know, so I don't know. I mean, we all know how this is going to turn out, and so far the book is kind of like very similar to the movie. So, but I'm gonna watch the movie after this, after finishing the book, and let you guys know the differences. Okay, so it is the next day. I am still listening to the audiobook. I've got quite far with it because I am at work, and the work that I'm doing right now is a little bit like I don't really need my full concentration, so I can still like listen to audiobooks. And I've made it really far in the book, and it's really good. It's really good. I feel like it's exactly like the movie, but I don't remember the movie that much, so I'm going to have to like watch the movie afterwards, I guess. But so far I am really enjoying the book. It's really good. So okay, so I think I'm about to end the book. I think it's at the end because like everything has happened according to the movie, and so we're at the ending in the movie, apart, like if I remember correctly. But this main character guy, he gets on my freaking nerves. Okay, you make the sole decision on your own to bury one of your children. I'm not going to spoil it, but you make the decision on your own to bury one of your children. You know that they're going to come back, right? Like, you don't know, like, you know that you buried the cat and he came back, but he didn't come back right. So you were just going to have a, like, I just feel like he should have died. Like, I feel like it would have been better if he died. I don't think it's fair that other people died for his fucking decision. Like, it just really makes me mad. And then after all of that happens and everything happens after he buries this person, and then they come back and then it's horrible and all of that is over and he remains alive, but like other people die, he decides that he wants to bury somebody else thinking that it's going to be different. What is the definition of insanity? Repeating the same thing, expecting a different result. Like, I don't know, like, I do not like this man at all. I think everything is very close to the movie. I will say that so there's a part where Gabe, his son, is supposed to have like a speaking role. I remember him saying, first I played with mommy, then I played with somebody, and now I want to play with you. I remember him saying that, and he didn't say that in the book. I don't remember like hearing that in the audiobook. Also, there's a part where he was like, not fair, not fair in the movie, and that's not in the book either. He really doesn't really speak that much. He just says daddy. I think that's the only thing he says, which is like a little, I like the movie version better for that. I think I'm about to finish the book, and I will let you guys know what my final thoughts are. Okay, freaking okay. I just finished the book, and okay, so it ends. I don't think it's a spoiler to let you guys know how it ends. I'm not gonna like go into detail, but it does end with him burying a second person. Well, I guess it would be a second person, a third barrier, because the first one was a cat. So he buried a third person, and it ends with an epilogue of that person coming back and saying, you know, talking to him. So we don't know, like, whether that person is, like, evil or, like, if they're going to try to kill them. Like, we don't know anything. So I guess that's why they made the movies. It was so great. Like, oh my God, like, it was so, like, good, like, listening to the audiobook for this, because I feel like it was like watching a movie in your head, just basically listening. There were some boring parts, but, like, I really love the foreshadowing. I like the fact that there was this old guy, I think his name was Judd. He kept trying to warn the main character. I forgot his name already. Like, I really don't like him. But he kept trying to warn the main character, look, don't go burying people out there. Like, it might work for animals and they come back fine, but people, no, they're not going to come back fine. And he told this man like 75 times, like, don't bury a person there because it's not going to work. And his dumb self still, like, I guess if you could bring a family member back, I mean, I guess you would probably do it. But, like, I don't know. I feel like he didn't make the right decision. Also, the only pet peeves that I have with this book is that, so the book talks about how, I told you there's an older guy, I think his name is Judd. He talks about how he has like this accent and how he pronounces the word road. He says road or something like rud, that, like R-U-D-D or something. So they kept bringing up opportunities for him to say road, across the road, get off the road. I'm like, if I hear road again, like, I'm gonna bury myself in Pet Sematary. Like, I'm just gonna do it, like, because it was too many times. And also, it was another word. Yeah, so there's a scene where they're talking about something, and they came up with this nickname, Oz the Great and Terrible, and they say great, like, great. They said that in the book like freaking 95 times. And it's like one time it was just like the same 3 sentences, like back to back, had Oz the Great and Terrible in it. I was like, oh my God. Oh, I was so like, stop saying rude and stop saying Oz the Great and Terrible. Like, please stop. Like, it did nothing for the story. But other than that, I really loved it. If I can like read your book and it feels like a movie in my head, like, I really like that. So I don't see anything besides those 2 things. I didn't really like the characters, but like, I don't think you should rate a book badly because you don't like the characters. Tonight after work, I'm still on the clock. Shh. I'm going to watch the Pet Sematary, whichever one is available first. I'm going to try to see if there's one that is free first before I have to pay. And then I will update you guys and let you guys know. And then I will meet back like during the show to let you guys know certain things that differs from the book or things that I like or whatever. Okay, so I am looking on my remote and it looks like both Pet Semataries are free on Amazon Prime. So the 2019 one is free, as well as the 1989 one. So I'm going to watch the 1989 one first, and I'll take some notes and do a finish up video at the end, and then I'll watch the 2019. Okay, so I'm laying on the couch and I just finished the old version of Pet Sematary. And guess what came up? Pet Sematary 2 from like the following year. And I completely forgot. I have watched this. It has absolutely nothing to do with the book. It's just kind of like a continuation of a different story of someone else using the Pet Sematary. I think it's a kid. I'm going to watch it, but I don't think I'm going to vlog about it. I'm just going to talk about the 2 Pet Semataries that I've talked about today. But I do want to let you guys know that there is a second Pet Sematary. I'm hoping, like, if they mention anything from the first one, then I'll come back and like update you guys. But I don't remember them mentioning anything from the first Pet Sematary and the second one. But I'm about to watch the 2019 version. I have so many notes for you guys, so many notes. So there's going to be like a wrap up and you guys are going to see everything, but let me just watch this movie. Hey guys, so it is several days later, and I know I said I wasn't going to vlog about Pet Sematary 2, but I do see that some of the characters have mentioned parts of the story from the first beginning. The main character in this movie is like kids. Yeah, I don't feel like it's as good as the first one. It's definitely not good as the first one. I feel like when you start making sequels and like trying to create different storylines, like it's not as good. But there has been mention of the people from the first movie. So like during this like ghost story, like one of the kids is saying the only person that survived the family from the first book was Ellie. And if you remember correctly, Ellie was sent to her grandparents, and then the wife came home to kind of like figure out what was going on with her husband. So Ellie was the only one that was not endangered by the pet cemetery. But in his ghost story, he said that Ellie like one day just woke up, lost her mind, and killed her grandparents with an axe. And they said that when the cops found her, she was like licking the blood off of like whatever the you know, I don't remember if it was a knife or an axe, but she was licking the blood off. And then she got into a mental institution, and she just escaped like 2 days ago. So it's a ghost story. It's supposed to be like, oh, you know, she could be right behind you kind of thing. So that was mentioned. And then also there's another person on here that says something, because the main character is dealing with a dead dog, but he doesn't know why. Like, he doesn't know that it's dead. He's like, I don't know why, like, none of his cells are like reproducing, his eyes aren't dilating or anything. Like, I don't know what's going on. And the guys was like, the dog is dead, the same way that Church was like dead from the first movie. And then he was like, the same way that the wife was when she died for the second time. And I'm like, oh, okay, because I was wondering about that, because the first movie ended on a cliffhanger. So cliffhanger resolved. I guess, you know, spoiler, major spoiler here, but, you know, I told you guys that it ended on a cliffhanger and we don't really know what happens. But in the movie, it's kind of evident as to, like, she's going to kill him. So apparently she did, and he did die, and he was not buried again. But I guess someone else had to kill her because, yeah, or maybe, like, she stabbed him, and like he had like just enough breath to like kill her over again. I don't know, because no one else would have known that she like lived and then died again. So someone else must have, like the cops or something, must have had to kill her after she came back to life for the first time. Anyways, this is a lot, but I just wanted to let you guys know that it was some mentioning of the first Pet Cemetery in Pet Sematary 2. Like, I don't recommend this movie. Don't waste your time. It's complete crap. Like, no. Wrapping up this video, Pet Sematary was an amazing movie and book. Like, I remember watching the movie so many times when I was little. It scared the shit out of me as a kid, and even when as an adult, as a 29-year-old, it gave me the creeps. I couldn't read the book before I go to sleep. I know I said in my earlier vlog that I was going to read it, but I couldn't. It creeps me out. And I know how I am. I will literally like see things. I will literally see a damn cat in my room. Like, that's not okay. So I was like, no, I have to read something else until the next day. So I only read the book during the daytime. I didn't even watch the movie until it was like maybe 7 at night. It was still light outside. Like, it's a creepy movie, and I agree with Stephen King. This is probably one of his scariest movies. So I wanted to talk to you guys about the differences between the movies and the book. So basically, I will use the book as like the template. So I told you guys there's a character named Judd. He's the old guy across the street. Basically a friend of Lewis, but not in every version. In the book, Judd has a wife. He has a whole wife. Her name is Norma, and she dies during the book. I guess that's a spoiler, but you guys came here for spoilers. In the classic movie, Judd doesn't have a wife. And in the new version, Norma dies before we even get to see her. And yeah, so that's basically it. In most version, in the book and in the classic movie, Judd and Lewis are like friends and like they hang out a lot. But in the new movie, the relationship pretty much is between Ellie and Judd, to be honest. Like, they have a very close relationship. In the book, I'll be honest, Gabe dies. Like, the toddler, like the 3-year-old or 2-year-old, he dies. He's run over by like this big truck in the road. And also in the movie, in the classic movie, he dies. In the new movie, Ellie dies, which shocked me. And I will say this, I like the fact that they switched it around. Like, of course, I don't want anyone to die, but I like the fact that they switched it around because it was something I wasn't expecting. I was like, holy shit, oh my God. Like, I was like, whoa, you know, and then they set it up. The way that they set the new movie up is that it looked like Gabe was about to die, like, because we expect it. Like, in every version that we've seen so far, Gabe dies, and then all of a sudden, like, it misses Gabe and like kills Ellie, and I'm like, whoa. There's a lot of like differences between the Pet Sematary. In most versions, the book as well as the classic movie, the family doesn't really know about Pet Sematary. They don't know that Cat Church dies. They don't know about that either. But in the new movie, Lewis is a little bit more open with his wife. So he talks to Rachel and he kind of reveals, okay, well, the cat died. I'm going to bury it and we're going to tell her that it ran away. The cat comes back alive. So Rachel doesn't really believe him when he says, yeah, I buried that cat like it was dead. She kind of just feels like he didn't know that it was dead, but like she does know that the cat died. And towards the end, obviously, he chooses to bury Ellie the same way that in all versions he buries Gabe. And she comes back and Rachel was like, wait, that's not normal. In all of the other versions, I feel like when it was Gabe, Rachel was all like, oh, come here, my baby, like all of that. But when it's Ellie, she was like, oh, get her away from me. That's an abomination. Like, no. So there's like little differences. Like, the family was supposed to be away when the cat dies, but like in the new movie, they're there. Like, Ellie is there, they just keep it away from her. There's a point where in the new movie the cat scratches Ellie, and we never see this in the book nor in any of the other versions. It's just in the new version. I'm so happy that the quotes that I was telling you guys about Oz the Great and Terrible was not in, it wasn't in the classic movie, and it was like mentioned maybe once or twice in the new movie at the very beginning. And I'm so happy because I was like, oh, I got so tired of that quote. Y'all just don't know. And there was no mention of Rude. Like, there was, like, I didn't have that problem at all. The fact that in pretty much all of the versions, Ellie has always had this kind of like psychic ability, like when it comes to the Pet Sematary. But you know, obviously in the newer movie, like, she's dead, so she doesn't really know, but like, it just means that Gabe just kind of, although he's young, he just kind of says Pascal and things like that. Kind of like the versions where Gabe dies. Like, I'm sorry, but like, I know he's a little kid, but like, they're both kids, like, you know. But I mean, I don't really like to stray too much from the original. So like, I love this Ellie. Like, I went through like the book, the classic movie, and the newest one, and I was like, the Ellie, the best version is the one in the newer movie. I like the fact that she's more mature. She doesn't whine that much. There was one time where she like got hurt in some way and she was just like tough. But like in all the other movies, she's like, I'm like, oh, like, you know, just a whiny kid. And I'm like, and in the book, like, the worst version is the book version. She whined about everything. And I was like, oh. The quotes changed a little bit. Like, for example, Pascal, he says different things in the book as well as in the movies. Like, he says different things when he dies. In the classic movie, he tells him the man's heart is stonier. In the book, he says something about Pet Sematary. I don't remember what it was, but he says something about Pet Sematary. And then in the new movie, he says, the barrier is not meant to be broken. And in every version, he refers to Lewis by his first name when he's never met him before in his life. The history of Pet Sematary, it's really like flushed out in the book, and we get to learn a lot through Judd just kind of telling Lewis like what happened. This happens in the classic movie as well, but in the new movie, the history of Pet Sematary is basically found out from Lewis just Googling the history. There's no mention in the new movie about getting Church fixed so that he doesn't go on the road. That was something that was kind of mentioned in the book, like a lot. And then in the movie, the classic movie, I think it was mentioned maybe once or twice. In the new movie, when Ellie came back to life from being buried, she didn't seem like she wanted to kill anyone. It was kind of like she actually had like a thought process in her head. Like, she only killed Judd because he was like, whatever you did, you need to undo it. As in, like, you need to kill her. before she even showed like dangerous signs. So like, yeah, of course she was like, oh, he's an enemy, he's trying to talk my dad into killing me. So that's her process. She was like, I need to protect myself and kill him. So that made sense why she killed Judd. And then she killed her mother because she was expecting her mom to kind of like welcome her in open arms, and her mom was kind of like, no, you're an abomination, and like just like going back in disgust. And so she was like, well, I think her process was more like, well, if I kill her and bring her back, she would be my equal, so she would love me the same way she did as when I was alive. So it makes sense. But like when Gabe was killed and came back in the other versions, he wanted to kill people. Like that was Gabe like priority. Like he was like, no, like I'm not talking, like no, let's get to it. That's what Gabe was talking about. And in this the newer version, it seems like the characters are a lot smarter. Like it's like they know what happened to their previous like characters. For example, Rachel was dying. She was like, okay, whatever you do, don't bury me in Pet Cemetery. Like, just let me die. I want to just go. I don't want to come back. I want to come back here. And then they still buried her. But like, it's like she knew that that's what they were going to do. So when Judd was dying, so you know, like in all the versions, like he get cut on the foot with a scalpel by Gabe. But like in the new version, like Ellie isn't hiding under the bed, but he knows. Like I feel like he knows. And it's crazy because like I was like yelling at the TV, like, don't like look under the bed. And then it's like it felt like he heard me because he like threw that bed. I was like, damn, good child, you hear me? He still died, but he still died, but it's like he knows, like, you know, he was a little bit smarter. He still died, but he died smarter, I guess. There's also a mention in the book where they're talking about a soldier who was like who died, and he was like buried in Pet Cemetery and came back to life, and he had this power of just knowing things that he shouldn't know. Like he knows like dark things. There's no mentioning of this in the classic movie, but in the newer movie it kind of is similar because Ellie knew stuff about Judd, and like when she was like talking to him about to kill him, like she like said some things about his wife. In most versions, Lewis buries Rachel, and as we all know, in the new movie, Rachel is buried by Ellie because she's killed by Ellie. The new movie kind of ends with them just being a family of zombies, actually. So basically, Ellie kills like everybody, and then, well, actually no, Rachel kills Lewis. Okay, so let me just give you a timeline. Ellie kills Judd. She don't bury his ass. She would just like let him die. And then she kills her mom, and then she buries her mom. And the mom comes back while Lewis is trying to kill Ellie. And the mom like kills Lewis. And then they bury him, and then they come back as like zombies. And then you just see Gabe like sitting in his little hiding place, like just alive, like, well, I'm about to die. It's a good like little spin. I love that. I do know that there was a slight difference between when Judge was talking about the first person that was buried in Pet Cemetery. So in the book, Judge said that they had to kind of do something about it because the army was kind of like getting suspicious because people were sending anonymous letters that, hey, this person was supposed to be dead, but like he's like literally walking the street, like you need to come check it out. So they was about to come and investigate. And so that's why they went up to the guy's dad and was like, look, you need to like put him down or something, like, you know. But in the classic movie, they made it seem like the boy's mother was like, no, this is an abomination, you have to do something about it. And once again, it's not mentioned by Judd in the new movie. It's kind of like a Google search, and you really don't get a lot of background on it. I forgot the most important part. The new movie is a little bit more diverse because Pascal is black. In all of the other versions, Pascal is white with his little red shorts on, but in the new version, Pascal is black and he's wearing cargo pants and like regular clothes, not no jogging shorts. But like, yes, I was like, bet. But I will say, I feel like I like the first Pascal. He was a little bit more scarier. Like the fact that he had like half a head, that made the movie scarier. Like the other Pascal, he was just kind of like, I wouldn't be scared of him. Like, I don't know. I just wasn't scared of him as much. And then that, the first Pascal in the movie, he was kind of funny too. But it's like the new Pascal, he really didn't like, yeah, he wasn't funny. Pascal in the classic movie was kind of funny. He was like, It was something he said when Rachel got out of the tow truck, and he was like, she said something about, I hope I make it. And he was like, I don't think so. It was something he said. It was so hilarious. And then he closed the door. But Pascal was like, yes. Okay. Like, funny. My favorite Pascal was the first one. In the book, I believe it says that Gabe kills Church. But in the classic movie, I feel Lewis kills Church because he puts like poison in like steak and feeds it to him. In the book, they mention that the truck driver who ran over Gabe actually tried to commit suicide and his wife left him. This was not mentioned in any of the other versions. In the book, Rachel does not have a car accident trying to come back home, but in the classic movie, she does and has to get a ride with a tow truck. Not a tow truck. She has to get a ride with like this 18-wheeler, whatever it's called, one of those big trucks. In the new movie, I don't even remember. I think she makes it all the way. I don't even remember, but I think she makes it all the way there without any problems. That's basically all of the differences that I can think of off the top of my head. I may be missing some, but this was an incredible experience. I really liked the movie, and I'm super glad to be done with my first vlog. Whoop whoop. Great movie. If you're looking for something spooky, you still have time in October. Definitely get Pet Sematary. It's probably available everywhere. It's a classic book. It's very scary. And if you're interested in watching the movie and you have Amazon Prime, both of the movies as well as Pet Sematary 2 are available on Amazon Prime for free. So that is everything I have for you guys today. Thank you for watching this vlog with me, and yeah, please don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. And if you like this video, give it a quick like. And that is all. Until next time, I will see you. Bye.